It's finally here, the Social Security Expansion Act of 2023. This bill was just introduced by Bernie Sanders to expand Social Security benefits, extend the solvency, and enhance them by $2,400 per year. And take a look, this is the actual piece of legislation released just 3 days ago. And you can see this act does the following. And number 2, across the board, benefit increases. Now also take a look, here's the press release that came out from Bernie Sanders. Amid Republican threats to Social Security, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Schwarzkopf, Hoyle, and colleagues introduced legislation to increase benefits and extend the solvency through 2096. This just released February 13th of 2023. Now, you can see in the press release, I'm going to be diving into this in more detail and the actual legislation. It says that this legislation that was introduced would expand Social Security benefits by an additional $2,400 a year and ensure Social Security is fully funded for the next 75 years. However, when I take a look at the actual piece of legislation, the bill, take a look. I did a search for the $2,400. It's nowhere to be found in this piece of legislation. In addition to that, I was thinking maybe it's the $200 per month. That's not in the bill either. Now also, we had concerns about SSI. When I took a look at supplemental security income, nowhere in this legislation either. So a lot of people are wondering, if there's an increase, is SSI going to be included? Well, that's yet to be seen, because according to this piece of legislation, I don't see anywhere in here where SSI is included. Now, just to show you the search does work, Social Security is named in the 48-page bill 90 times. Disability is listed 47 times, and also you see Section 2 across the board benefit increase in the legislation, making it sound like retirement, SSI, SSDI, everything is included. Now, I'm going to be diving into the press release, piece of legislation, and the fact sheet. I'm going to give you all the details, show you what it actually has to say, but before we do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates on Social Security, the bill that was finally released, smash the like button for me very quickly, hit subscribe to stay up to date. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, you can see this came out from Bernie Sanders February 13th. And just very quickly, before we dive into the fact sheet, the introduction says, as Republicans threaten to cut Social Security and other essential federal programs, Senator Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, along with Jan Schwarzkopf, Val Hoyle in the U.S. House of Representatives introduced legislation that would expand Social Security by $2,400 per year. So there they have it in the press release, and ensure that Social Security is fully funded for the next 75 years, all without raising taxes by 1 penny on over 93% of American households that make $250,000 a year or less. These estimates reflect an analysis of the legislation conducted by the Social Security Administration at the request of Bernie Sanders. The analysis was also released today in a letter from Chief Actuary Stephen Gross. Now, here's a quote from Bernie Sanders with the press release. At a time when nearly half of older Americans have no retirement savings, and almost 50% of our nation's seniors are trying to survive on income that is less than $25,000 a year, our job is not to cut Social Security. Our job is to expand Social Security so that every senior in America can retire with dignity that they deserve, and every person with a disability can live with the security that they need. The legislation that we're introducing today will expand Social Security benefits by an additional $2,400 a year, and will extend the solvency of Social Security for the next 75 years by making sure that the wealthiest people in our society pay their fair share into the system. Right now, a Wall Street CEO who makes $30 million per year pays the same exact amount into Social Security as someone who makes $160,000 a year. Our bill puts an end to that absurdity, which will allow us to protect Social Security for generations to come while lifting millions of seniors out of poverty. And yes, the way they're talking about extending the solvency is increasing taxation on anybody that makes over $250,000 per year. Now, let's take a look at the Social Security expansion fact sheet, and you'll be able to see all the information listed out, and you can see the bullet points. Now, the first one, extend the solvency for an additional 75 years, and they give the same numbers that we just covered. Number 2, expand Social Security benefits across the board, making it sound like SSI is included for current and new beneficiaries under the bill. Social Security benefits for current and existing recipients would increase by $2,400 per year. So there they have it named out, listed. Now, it says right here, Section 2, across the board, benefit increase. This is going to be an increase of the first bend point percentage, it says in section 215A. Now it says they're going to be amending and striking 90% and inserting 95%. And I think the assumption here is that if they increase Social Security benefits across the board by 95%, that would equate to roughly $200 per month or $2,400 per year. But keep in mind the fact that not everybody receives the same amount of benefits from Social Security, which means that if this passes and the way that it is currently written, a lot of people are going to be expecting to receive an additional $200 per month, and it's probably not going to equate to that according to how it's currently written. Now, we'll see if there's any modifications, amendments to this legislation, but at this current time, as I showed you, I don't see anywhere in here where it says an additional $200 per month or $2,400 per year. Now also, Section 3, just wanted to cover this, computation of cost of living increases. Currently, Social Security distributions for the COLA increases, cost of living adjustments, is based on CPIW data, which is Consumer Price Index for wage earners. And they're saying that this is not accurate for those that receive these benefits. It should be based on CPIE, which is the Consumer Price Index for the elderly, and that would adhere more so to the needs of those that receive these benefits. So adjusting that is in Section 3. Additionally, Section 4, increase in minimum benefits for lifetime low earners based on years in the workforce, so increasing those benefits as well. And also Section 6, as we mentioned, payroll tax increases. This is going to be on anybody that makes over $250,000 a year. They would receive an additional form of taxation getting paid into Social Security benefits to help extend the solvency. Because right now, as I mentioned, they're saying 2035. We've heard it's actually going to be shorter due to the massive COLA increases. They're saying 2033, and now data is coming out saying Social Security, the solvency will run out by the year 2032. Now, just to clarify, that does not mean the benefits are going to be gone, but what it does mean is that people will not be able to receive their full amount of benefits. They're saying only 80% will be able to be distributed across the board. So if you're somebody that receives, say, $1,000 per month from Social Security, you'll only receive $800 per month. And when you say, hey, why didn't I get all the money that I was supposed to get all these years I've paid into it, they're going to say, sorry, everyone across the board is going to be receiving only 80% of their benefits. So this is an issue that needs to be addressed and right away, because the solvency is coming to an end here very soon. And that is why we're hearing that 2023 is the year of Social Security reform. Several pieces of legislation being introduced in Congress at this time, and this one just introduced by Bernie Sanders, by far one of the most popular pieces of legislation for Social Security reform in 2022. We had heard it was going to be reintroduced, and it just came out 3 days ago, the Social Security Expansion Act of 2023. Now, we'll see if this gets any traction in Congress. I will keep you guys up to date. There's also other pieces of legislation coming out, but reform needs to happen, and fast, because, like I said, the solvency is a major issue. Inflation is at a 40-year high. COLA increase was 8.7%, and they're saying that the way things are going, food prices and things across the board are still going to continue to increase. So we need to see some type of reform taking place. And I will keep you guys up to date on everything as it unfolds. So I'll let you know what happens with the Social Security Expansion Act of 2023. Bernie Sanders is leading the charge on that, and I'll keep you guys up to date. And if you appreciate that, don't forget, smash the like button, subscribe, check out this video next if you're interested. I'll keep you guys up to date on everything. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.